Just a young gun with a quick fuse. I was uptight, wanna let loose. I was dreaming.
All right, here we are. Episode 2 of Ranger Nation 2019 Winter Show. I'm Bill Bryant, and here is no Tim Wood tonight, Lou.
Nope.
We have the lovely Mrs. Bryant filling in on my chair while I'm in the main host chair.
Very last minute.
Very last minute. You might want to fix your hair a little bit there.
Is it a mess?
Just a little loop.
If I didn't tell you, you would kill me.
You're absolutely right. I would have.
We know it's serious because Bill's got his headphones on.
Well, ever since the end of last
I fix his hair
season.
for him all the time.
Absolutely. So no Tim Wood tonight. So we have a little controversy of where Tim is. So I am asking folks that are watching the show to weigh in your opinion. So there's two things going on with Tim right now, and you're gonna take your pick. The first option is Tim was chasing his dog Holly and tripped and sprained his ankle and is heading out to AFC Urgent Care, who just happens to be our #1 sponsor, located right down the street from where we're at, and is just a phenomenal place and does great things for the community. Mm-hmm. Or the other situation was during the youth basketball that Tim coaches, he got a couple technical fouls called against him, and he's in sensitivity training tonight for yelling at a red-headed ref, calling him colorblind. And he's at sensitivity training tonight to make sure he can get back to coach. So if you're listening, weigh in and vote whether you think Tim's at AFC Urgent Care getting his ankle worked on, or if he's at sensitivity training for beating up on a little 17-year-old ref.
Beating up on Connor?
Well, I'm not confirming or denying it was Connor, because that may give away where he is, where he really is tonight. Yeah. So I meant verbally beating up on him.
Okay, yeah.
And
seems more plausible.
No, absolutely, that is true. Yeah. So still a lot going on in Ranger Nation. Speaking of Tim, though, how did his team do?
His team is still 6-0. They had a close one the other night against the Magic, I believe. I'll have to check my fact checker here. Hold on. Oh, I also need to be able to see it. Hold on. 6-0. It was 24-20, and they won over the Magic. Yes.
All right. So he did have a game this weekend. It wasn't canceled, and so there may or may not have been a couple technicals. A lot going on tonight, Ranger Nation. Lou, we got a wrestling match at Methuen Fieldhouse. So I'm hoping to get some updates on that from Mr. Curran, the athletic director, as well as a couple of parents.
Is it in Methuen tonight?
Yep, and we also have a hockey.
He can call in and do a live update if he wants to.
I will definitely send him that text and let him know he could do that. Hopefully we'll have an exciting. They've only had one loss. That was last Wednesday against Haverhill, against a really, really good Haverhill team. So they're hoping they recovered over the weekend. And they have a big tournament, the quad meet that they host this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the booster parents of just the wrestling team will be hosting that. So if people want to come by and check out a really good wrestling team and a hard-working bunch of kids, that's this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the Methuen Fieldhouse at the Clemens Arena. So we have boys hockey going on tonight. Concessions are open by the hockey parents tonight for that. So a lot of things going on. Pam and I were at the basketball game last night, home where the boys played Central Catholic. Mm-hmm. The freshman boys won. JV lost
by like 6.
By 6. We got there at halftime. Oh, no, I'm sorry, the beginning of the fourth quarter, and I thought it was the first quarter.
Oh, really?
It was like 14-12
wow.
in the fourth quarter. The first quarter, end of the quarter score was 3-2.
Wow.
And this is two good basketball teams.
Yeah.
This isn't like bad basketball.
3-2.
3-2 at the end of the first quarter. It was a lot of just missed shots, a lot of defense, some turnovers, just because both press and run. But I've never seen anything like it. And then the varsity boys team ended up losing.
They got kind of. It was a tough game.
They both pressed full court? Wow.
Absolutely. Okay. So the boys varsity team
must have been a challenging game to watch.
Well, I got there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So that's when, ended up being like 38-32 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was close at the end, but you can tell both coaches had looked like it was a long game.
Yep.
Saying tough game. varsity
for
game?
varsity, yeah, it was tough. It was you know, Central's always tough. I think in just about every sport that we face them in.
They have a lot of depth.
They do have some depth. They do have quite a bit of depth. I've heard.
Yeah.
But we have some young kids on our team this year. I mean, freshmen, sophomores.
Yeah, Isaac Allen, freshman.
Isaac Allen, yep. And what was the other one?
Mitchell.
Crow.
Mitchell
yes.
Crow.
They're working their tails off.
Yeah.
Just working their tails off. This is going to be a growing year for not just the team, but for those young men, and it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off because there's some hardworking kids on that team. And if
tough.
there's anyone I'm forgetting, I'm sorry.
It's tough when you lose a bunch of juniors and seniors, you know, kind of unexpectedly or, you know, suddenly. So the freshmen, sophomores, you know, Anyura is the only returning varsity, and then probably one of my new favorite.
Anyura's only a sophomore.
Sophomore, yep. And then their only senior that's getting a bunch of time is Tyler Carrion, who has been, you know, a 4-year player, you know, has, you know, paid his dues last year. He split a little JV, got into varsity, but not a ton of meaningful minutes.
Right.
Would have been very easy for him to just, you know, kind of walk away. Not this kid, man. He just works. Even last night.
He's a workhorse.
Last night they're down 30. He's taking offensive charges. He's diving for the ball.
Good
you
for
know,
him.
just. I don't even think the kid looks at the scoreboard.
Yeah.
You know, he just works hard and plays the game until the end.
The beginning of the game, I'm not going to know the exact numbers, but it was, I think Methuen had 6 points and Central had like 15 or something like that. And all 6 points were by Tyler. And I think he got the next 4 points after that also. I
All in
believe.
the ping, you know, just
Yep.
rebounding. He's, you know, playing center, you know, because they don't have a true center, you know, that's you know, big man, and he's working hard for, you know, every basket, every rebound. They end up pulling it. I think this up to the second quarter, it was like a 6-point game. They kind of came back, hit some shots. Mitchell had a couple of threes, and in the second half, I'm not making a joke. Central just has so much depth that by the third quarter,
yeah.
it was just hard because you can't go to a lot of bench when you're already playing
Right.
freshmen and sophomores on varsity. So, you know, good crowd there last night too, which is good to see. You know, they don't have a really a winning record, but you know, good crowd. Mr. Curran's texting in. All right, boys hockey is down 1-0, and we're waiting to hear wrestling. I know the JV wrestling team started at 6, a little bit of a late start, so varsity probably won't start till about 7:30. Then speaking about basketball, we have Dave Garibaldi coming tonight with Stephanie Tadugno, who is a sophomore who's been on the show before.
Right.
And she's got a great little personality and is not afraid to hog the mic and talk a little bit.
Michaela
Ferrulo,
who's also been on the show before.
and Katie Durandi, both, one had a family emergency and the other became not well.
Ah,
Got a little bug and couldn't jump on the show. So
yeah. Don't bring that in here.
absolutely
Yeah.
small.
Michaela's not coming.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be Garibaldi and Steph Tadugno. So they'll be fine. Garibaldi's quite a character, and he was my coach back in high school. So when Tim said he wasn't coming, I grabbed Pam because I did not want to be in a room alone with Jera. So. Girls hockey is in a huge game right now against Reading, and they are up 1-0. This is a big game for standings, for playoffs, and things like that. So Matt's going to keep me going here. I don't know if he's going to come on live. If he's going wrestling, boys hockey, and girls hockey, he may bump us. But a lot of other good things going on, you know, in Ranger Nation track. As you know, we had the 4x4 relay record-setting group on last week.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of finishing up the season with, you know, a couple of kids qualifying for the States, but that's winding down for them. So, like I said, boys hockey, girls hockey, and boys and girls basketball. The girls hockey team has a couple of Wednesday games, and we're looking at them right before February break to get on the show. And we were also talking to a couple of alumni, and no one was able to, you know, to commit tonight. But
Yep.
we got a couple of pretty interesting guests, hopefully over the next couple of weeks.
I think we need to get some wrestling people, but we have to wait until they're pretty much wound down because they have their meets on Wednesday nights, so they can't
Oh.
come in. I spoke to Mr. Shagru today and clarified that.
So what's your infatuation with wrestling? You work with one of the coaches?
I did last year.
That's
I
right,
was
that's
I
right.
was fortunate enough to meet Paul Shagru and worked with him last year. And just a great young man. And he wrestled when he was in high school. He actually has his name up on the banners there, and a couple of his brothers also have names up on the banners, and they all help the high school wrestling team right now. So I think it's pretty interesting. We've got some good wrestlers. We've got Anthony Romano, Zabian Cruz,
Yep.
and they're doing pretty well. They're doing pretty well this year.
I said only one loss against Haverhill, and they rebounded well at a trimester meet with 3 other teams, and was pretty dominant. And
Yeah.
they're back to the regular play. I think in February, early February, they have a good stretch. Let me look that up. They have a good stretch of meets coming up that are going to be tough. They have. Let me see here. The 26th is the Invitational. The 30th is Lawrence High School, which would be tough. The 2nd is another Invitational, Concord Carlisle, Peabody, and Westford Academy. And then Wednesday, the 6th, is the big one, and that's going to be at Methuen High School. I'm sorry, at the Field House, and that's against Central.
Yep.
And that was probably my first introduction to high school wrestling. Was last year. I showed up to do something in concessions, and I walked in, and it was, just Methuen Central, and it was a huge crowd,
Yeah.
and they were all surrounding the mat. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I walk over, and it was the last meet of the night, and the winner of the match basically won the meet
Oh,
for
wow.
their team, and it was the
Winner takes all.
Winner takes all. It was
Yeah.
the 2 heavyweights, man, and Methuen ended up winning, and I don't think I breathed the entire time. You just sitting there watching, and it's so intense, and everyone's around the mat yelling and screaming. And
Everyone everyone on the squads or everyone in the
a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
so
really.
Around the player side, and then obviously the back stands in the field house
Yeah.
was pretty packed with both Central and Methuen fans, and it was intense. It was pretty cool.
That's
so I'm
a
hoping.
character sport, isn't it? I mean, it's nothing but hard work and confrontation. You know something about a kid who wrestles.
You really do.
Yeah.
It's something I grew up, never played hockey,
Yep.
and I have such an appreciation and respect for hockey to be able to have
As you should.
that skill level, to be on skates, to use a stick, to get hit. It's something, like I said, I've never even had skates on, but I have, and I'm same thing with wrestling.
Yeah.
There's teamwork to it, because you got to motivate your teammates, but it's really just mano a mano. You get on the mat, and
Yep.
you just got to gut it out and grit it, and everyone knows whether you put the work in or not, because if you don't have the moves down,
Right.
if you don't have the endurance, if you don't have the strength, everyone watches, and you get beat. So it is.
But it's not a lot of fun, and it's individualized. You don't get a lot of the things you get in team sports, and it's just work. Yeah, you gotta have some
And
character.
it's like any other sport in regards to you.
I think
you
Lou's
see
saying
you see
it
the-
isn't.
No, but you see the same kids year to year. You could wrestle the same people from year to year from other schools. So you do get familiar with the people that you're competing against.
Yeah, actually, I know it's Ranger Nation, but
Yep.
the kid Jake Nicolosi from Haverhill that had a big match against us had a kid that he had been wrestling since like 6th grade.
Yep.
And I was talking to a few people, and he finally beat this kid at one of the state matches, and this kid was his nemesis and had
Wow.
been beating him, and he finally just beat him straight up. And you're right, that's
See, what other sport do you have a nemesis? I like that.
yeah.
And
no.
I would tell you, like you played team sports. I played team sports. Played baseball, football, and hockey. Hockey was my first sport because I was a Bobby Orr baby.
Yep.
There's nothing like a hockey team. And I love all team sports, and teams are great for everybody. A hockey team is different. It's just different because other than the goalies, it's basically the same job, and everybody's got to have each other's backs, and you're in a pit, and it's not as individualized as some of the other sports. You're out there, you got to work together.
I feel that way about football.
Yeah, football is very much that way.
They're very similar, and you can
Yeah.
see that with the parents too.
Yeah.
The hockey parents are like, obviously they're all crazy,
Yeah.
but they bond in a crazy sort of cool way where they're very much together. They've been playing. Their kids typically have been playing
Yeah.
since
Since youth.
4 or 5 years old, and
Yeah.
they travel to Canada and New Jersey
Yep.
and all these away games, and
That's where the crazy comes from.
absolutely,
Like,
absolutely.
I was a USA hockey official for about 15 years, and there wasn't a year I wasn't escorted out of a rink.
To protect you.
Yeah, and I'm not alone. I mean, I've had parents on the ice. It's just like, it's incredible. Hockey
Yeah.
parents are a whole different breed.
And it's purely because they're investing thousands of dollars
Yeah, well, that's part of it.
each year in their kids, so
Yeah.
they want perfection, and they don't want you to blow the call. So Dave just texted, he's here. So we're
Okay.
going to take a little
Want me
break.
to go down
if
and
you
get
can
him?
go get them. So as I said, welcome to Ranger Nation. In about 3 or 4 minutes, we'll have Dave and Steph Tadugno on. Catch you in a couple minutes.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on.
All right, a big shout out to the folks over at AFC Urgent Care. They've been big supporters of us since the beginning as the title sponsor of Ranger Nation Radio, and we are big fans of theirs. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment. Got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitches, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor? AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen, in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street. In North Andover as well, in the Burton Grill Plaza. 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details. I love talking about my man Val Davila. It's a dream to own your own business, and Val and Susan Davila made that a reality in February 2013. They started with just 2 insurance carriers, but now Right in Place Insurance for Progressive, Safeco, Pilgrim, Plymouth Rock, and Mapfre, just to name a few. Need auto insurance, renters, commercial, or home? Davila and DeFusco prides itself in having lifelong roots in the Merrimack Valley. Put their experience to work for you. Visit them at 225 Broadway or call 978-241-7950 for a free quote, or visit them online at daviladefusco.com.
Qualifications, rules, and limitations apply. Rates, rewards, and restrictions may vary by account. Contact institution for details.
Tickets, popcorn, and sodas. That'll be $35. Cash or debit?
Debit! I mean, I'd like to use my debit card, please. Can I do it?
okay.
All right. Swiping now.
What if paying with your debit card was always this exciting? Kasasa Cashback is a free checking account that pays you for everyday debit card purchases every month you qualify. Plus, with ATM withdrawal fee refunds nationwide, that's a lot of extra cash to spend on whatever you like.
Ask for Kasasa at the Savings Bank. Visit tsbawake24.com. Member FDIC, member DIF.
Open up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Here and now,
All right, welcome back to the second half of Ranger Nation Radio. We are very happy to have Coach Dave Garibaldi of the girls varsity basketball team, and finally a good-looking kid here to make this room look a little bit better. We have sophomore Steph Tadugno.
Wait.
Rude.
What about the good-looking coach right here? This is my good side, too.
Like
Surprised
I told you,
Pam didn't just whack you right there.
I brought Pam because I'm a little afraid of him. You know he was my coach too, right?
Oh, really?
A long time ago.
Very. He was like 11 when he was coaching.
Yes, I was.
So,
My first
Coach,
team.
Coach, welcome to the show. I want to be honest. I love your tweets. I know, the wins aren't coming like you want, and you've had a bunch of injuries. I was actually at the game where a couple of girls went down, but you I don't know if I'm blowing your spot here, but you have a lot of love for these kids and how hard they work.
I can't say enough about them, about what they've overcome this year. I mean, listen, the wins aren't coming, but we're not playing with the group that we thought we'd be playing with. And every day they show up, they grind, and there's never been, a bad word. There's never been something negative said to a teammate. They're up, they're supportive. You watch our bench is into the game every day.
They're all in.
All in. We're competing. I can't say enough about them. It shows. I think I tweeted out that true character of people is when you hit tough times. Everyone can be a good guy in good times, but when you hit tough times, what are you made of? And these girls, there's not a better group out there. I'm telling you, I don't care what our record is. I wouldn't want to coach any other team around.
They're going to be great adults, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. You know, and I have 2 older sons and I have a 12-year-old daughter, and my wife says all the time that the 12-year-old daughter is going to be the one taking care of me. So I'm hoping I got some more caregivers, because I'm not too sure on that one, to be honest with you.
Just talk about, you played a little bit last year as a freshman, and
Yeah,
you're one of the grizzled veterans out there at 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, I'm 15. It's crazy how much things have changed over the past year. Like last year, I was just getting used to everything and like kind of getting into the flow. And this year, it's like all the time. There's no time to stop. There's no time for breaks or anything. And it's just crazy how fast the game goes.
All right, so I'm going to say something now and just take it for what it is. When he's yelling at you a little bit, you have a look that you give that is not disrespectful. It's not. But it's like you've played for him for 10 years. You just give him a look, and it's not, you're not talking back. You're taking it all in, but you look so calm. Now, I was 17 my senior year.
I was a different guy when you were then.
Not much different,
Yeah.
but I'm so impressed with your composure. And it's not that you're yelling, but it's intense. I mean, the pressure, the full court press. You're playing against top MVC teams, and you guys, Caitlin Tierney's playing. She's a freshman, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
She's a good little player, but she's got some work to do and some growing up. So you're out there handling adversity, and Keeney's out there, and you guys don't really leave the court. So how did you learn to come up with that look, to just look at him and soak it all in? Because you both laugh, so you know what look I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I
think all the girls will tell you.
To be honest, sometimes I don't exactly know what he's saying to me. Like, I'm not even joking.
The show
Like,
is perfect.
sometimes I'm just looking at him and I'm hearing it, but it's just so much is going on. And I'm just like, yep, okay. And I just take it and I do my best to just listen to what he says and put it out there on the court.
That's a female quality.
Yeah,
exactly what I was
It's like living
thinking.
with my wife. That's awesome. No, I think with Steph, too, a lot of times with Steph, you'll see, I think she talks to herself a lot. I always tell her all the time, like, stop talking to yourself. Move on. Like, something goes.
Hardest critic is herself.
Yeah, I think she gets a little tough on herself, but I can't. I mean, what a great year that she's having. She's gone from averaging 2 points a game last year to being our leading scorer this year at over 13 points a game as a sophomore. And like you said, not coming off the court at all. Bellakini not coming off the court at all. Bellakini looks at me and goes, I need a break. I go, all right, you just got one. Get back in there. Like she.
I mean, her face is red a minute in,
Yeah.
and by the end, it's like I think it takes her 2 days to get the tired, red face off.
She doesn't have time for that, though, because he has practice the next day.
There we go, and it's been a grind. I mean, especially with the few numbers we have. Those a lot of days we're just shooting and walking through stuff where we would really be going after each other.
So who's injured right now? I know.
Barron came back, and that was, you guys had a big
Right.
win
Against Straycott, yeah.
against Straycott.
Yeah.
She made her impact known. The first play of the game, off the tip ball, she went down and scored. And
and she does a lot of she's able to cover. She's a little taller. She rebounds
brings the ball
for
up
us.
the court.
Last night we played Central Catholic, and the girl Bridgewater for Central is a bear on the ball, and we just tossed it back to Olivia. Not many teams have that.
Have a big center.
Have that ability. They can bring the ball up, So she's good. Katie Durandi. The game against Billerica, we're up. I honestly think we're going to win the game if Livy stays healthy. She goes down. We went up losing an 8-point game, and at the end of that game, DeAngelis Uranus separates her shoulder.
Yes,
So
I was there for that. Yeah.
She had surgery on her other shoulder last year for the same thing that's going on. So she's doing physical therapy right now. Hopefully she's back next week. And then the next day in practice, Katie Durandi twists her ankle, and by the time I get from the sideline to her, it's as big as a softball. And so she's out. She's still out, but she's hoping to get back next week. We've had our starting team. And listen, people don't feel bad for you. You know what I mean?
No.
It is what it is, and we got to move on in life. And I just would like to see us. We played 2 games with our full team. I'd like to see us for the rest of the year
Finish that way.
finish strong and hopefully go.
Talk a little about Marin Donovan. I know she's not, the stat leader, but we're neighbors, and I wish she played basketball earlier on.
Yeah.
And she got a late start to it, but God, does she work hard in her driveway, and you can tell. I mean, things are coming to her, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of experience. But
Well, didn't you think she played great last night?
Yeah, yesterday was her best game. She's been getting
I didn't
better
know
and
that.
better
It's
and
Central
better.
Catholic, yeah.
It's crazy, and she works so hard. Like, you see her knees at practice; they're all bruised up.
Crazy.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, we went into the locker room last night. I told Marin, I said, I think you graduated today. I think you.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
She played the girl Donna, who's a great player, a Methuen kid.
Yep.
Sue should have stayed in Methuen, Sue. But
Lou, that's the depth I keep
That's the
talking
depth,
about.
exactly.
yeah.
There it is.
So, but she played her really tough. She rebounded last night. In the post, it was a battle and that's what she has to do. Like that, those are the things. Like Marin's not going to be in, she's not going to be in the point totals. It's the stuff that you don't see where Marin's going to make the difference. And she's really every day Marin comes in and she's talk about a newbie. Like I'm saying things to her she really doesn't understand.
Yeah.
But every day she's like, okay, and she just keeps going and keeps grinding.
She's the kid that I see running down the court looking at you and you're coaching.
Yeah.
And she's taking the feedback and I think she's processing it in the moment and then turning around and, keep your arms up, don't reach down. I didn't. You're like, yeah, you did. Just go straight up, which is just awesome.
No, it's hard because every game too it's a different scouting report. So we play different people to play different ways. Last night we did something different to Downer than we did the night before against Tewksbury. So Marin now has to. All right, I got to do this game. I got to do this game. So it's difficult. It's not just it's hard, and she's learning. It's a great. Steph's learning. Bella's learning. It's a process.
Yeah, real young team. So who else can we talk about?
I mean, Caitlin, obviously.
She was so well coached in elementary school. I'm
And
surprised.
she's probably very used to a coach yelling at her.
And then we also have our captain, Michaela, who's been a really good leader for us, and she's been helping us get better and better every day in practice. And then we have Bella, obviously, who's been our starting point guard, and she's done a really good job distributing, pushing the ball up the court, just like being a great teammate, taking charges and all of that stuff. And then we go.
So talk a little bit about her leadership. I mean, as a sophomore, as a 15-year-old, on the softball team, and you have all these girls that are just great kids, great young ladies. Talk a little bit about her leadership style and what you've learned.
For Michaela, she's also my captain in soccer, and just her positive attitude and her hard work and like everything she puts into it is just like really good to see, and it's easy for me to just look at her and be like, that's what I want to do, that's how hard I want to work, and be like that.
That's great.
She's a special kid, and she really is. She's a 3-sport captain. If there's something going on at Methuen High School,
President of the class.
President of class.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like I look at her all the time and say, you're doing too much. She's running these things at school. She's doing this. She's doing that. She's a special kid. And Methuen High School is going to miss her next year. Not just basketball. I'm going to miss her personally. But that school is going to miss her. There's not many of Michaela Ferrulos that come through the doors in a school.
Yeah, she is part of SAD. She's one of the co-presidents
Buddy,
of that.
if there's something going on at Methuen High School, Michaela got her hand in it.
She's there. And her grandmother's there with the video camera or picture, camera taking pictures of her as well.
She's done that since she was little. Taking pictures.
So just a quick update, boys hockey down 2-0, but girls hockey is up 2-0. So one of the things we do have to do, and obviously you guys have your fans that come out, but I'm going to say this. I've been to, I think, almost every game in the winter, and the one team that I'm blown away that does not get the support is the girls hockey team.
Really?
They're definitely playoff bound again. They're just not getting the fans that they should. So next week we're gonna put a challenge out to Ranger Nation to try to get some fans to the girls hockey game, and I know you guys get your fans, and we'd love to see more of the student athletes or the students come to some of these games, which is kind of sad. But this girls hockey team definitely needs to get a little bit of support when they're home and they're battling, because a lot of people showed up to the Garden last year when they were in the finals, but got to kind of support them during the season as well. Coach, talk a little about, you said you'd love to get some of the injured players back. Talk a little about the upcoming schedule and who do we have? And
tomorrow night we're home against Andover. They're our last large school game. I tell the girls every day, and I mean it. The one thing I won't do to them is lie to them. I think we can beat anybody on our schedule, and I meant that from the beginning of the year. I thought we'd have 13 or 14 wins on our schedule this year, and then the rest of the schedule is our division and a couple non-league games that we can win. So I told them today we're 3-8 right now, and I would not be surprised to see us finish 12-8. I really, honestly, in my heart of heart, I wouldn't doubt that we can do it. Every game on that schedule is winnable for us. We just got to figure out how to close games out, and we're tired, and have a couple of those kids on the bench step up and come in and make some plays for us.
Watching the Draker game, they're very young too, huh?
Yeah.
That's going to be a battle over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they had like 7 freshmen on that team, and you know, when I was coaching Caitlin, a lot of those girls were very familiar to me, and I just picture over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I saw you talking to the coach afterwards, so
yeah.
you guys have
And
real similar.
My daughter played against their travel team the other day, and they have an undefeated travel team, 6th grade or 7th grade or something like that. Yeah. So
Drake's always been a tough opponent, especially
small town, but everyone's involved and all that. So what else is going on for you? Softball in the spring?
Yes, and I'm practicing with my AAU team right now, which is twice a week. And
he's allowed to know that you're double dipping?
Listen, nobody slaughters basketball. Every kid I have, what do you know? I play softball. Every kid. I'm waiting for one kid to say, I play basketball, coach.
That's what I told you about my 8th grade team. I've given you a bunch of athletes who don't really play basketball.
Yeah. And listen, she's an all-scholastic softball player as a freshman. That's unheard of. She's an all-scholastic softball player as a freshman.
That's pretty wild. All right, we're going to take a quick break, Lou, and then we'll come back and finish up the last part of the show.
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath.
Qualifications, rules, and limitations apply. Rates, rewards, and restrictions may vary by account. Contact institution for details.
Tickets, popcorn, and sodas. That'll be $35. Cash or debit?
Debit! I mean, I'd like to use my debit card, please. Can I do it?
Okay.
All right! Swiping now!
What if paying with your debit card was always this exciting? Kasasa Cashback is a free checking account that pays you for everyday debit card purchases every month you qualify. Plus, with ATM withdrawal fee refunds nationwide, that's a lot of extra cash to spend on whatever you like.
Ask for Kasasa at the Savings Bank. Visit tsbawake24.com. Member FDIC, member DIF.
All right, a big shout out to the folks over at AFC Urgent Care. They've been big supporters of us since the beginning as the title sponsor of Ranger Nation Radio, and we are big fans of theirs. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment. Got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitches, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor? AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen, in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street. In North Andover as well, in the Burton Grill Plaza. 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details. I love talking about my man Val Davila. It's a dream to own your own business, and Val and Susan Davila made that a reality in February 2013. They started with just 2 insurance carriers, but now Right in Place Insurance for Progressive, Safeco, Pilgrim, Plymouth Rock, and Mapfre, just to name a few. Need auto insurance, renters, commercial, or home? Davila and DeFusco prides itself in having lifelong roots in the Merrimack Valley. Put their experience to work for you. Visit them at 225 Broadway or call 978-241-7950 for a free quote, or visit them online at daviladefusco.com.
All right, welcome back to the final segment of Ranger Nation Radio. Once again, we have the poll up whether Tim is out because his dog tripped him and he's at AFC Urgent Care getting his ankle, or he got thrown out on Sunday. He was coaching 5th and 6th grade in town, and he was yelling at one of the refs, a kid with red hair. And he got two technicals, and he's at sensitivity training tonight. So we're not quite sure where Tim is, but we're doing a little poll whether his dog injured him or he got thrown out and is at sensitivity training tonight.
That's
so,
awesome.
Steph, we got your picture up.
Oh, yeah.
So you can check out your hair and see how handsome Dave is.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Thank goodness the poll is covering my face.
Oh.
And that's why we call the show Ranger Radio. I have the face for radio. So right now we still no updates other than girls up 2-0 against Reading, which is a big game for playoff seedings. Boys hockey down 2-0. Wrestling looks like they are down 15-6, but that was about 10 minutes ago. And Justin Sheehan is currently in a match, so hopefully we'll get some updates about from the.
Justin wrestled.
Yep, Justin wrestles. He's the junior kicker this year on the varsity football team. He's got a good little leg. So what else is going on with basketball?
We just have practice every day. A few games coming up. One more this week, and we have a couple next week. And it's just repeat, practice, game, practice, game.
So how are the freshman and JV team doing? You got some good numbers this year?
Good, yeah. We got good. There's good numbers down there, but the town itself, we need more kids playing. Like we're struggling to get the kids play and then play. Steph will tell you, we open the gym all year. I open up the gym. I reach out to the travel players. It's for free. Come into the gym, play, and it's a ghost town. To be honest with you, other than.
How do we fix that?
Listen, I'm trying. I don't know. I'm reaching out to everybody. I'm going to the 8th grade travel game tonight.
I have some opinions, and I've been voicing. We don't have hoops outside.
Yeah.
For a city this big, we've done a really good job of closing all the basketball courts.
Yeah.
So I think that's affecting both boys and girls, and I don't get it. I think the mayor was quoted that Methuen still acts like a town, but we're a city, but we don't have outside recreation for the kids. You see hoops, in different neighborhoods and things, but for the girls, I just, I have a daughter your age, and girls don't call each other and say, hey, let's come over and play basketball outside. So how did you get so good at basketball? Like, what was your...
I've always played since I was younger. Like, I've been playing since, like, the 2nd grade, and I've just kept with it all through middle school and everything, and that's just working on everything.
Did you play off time, or was this during just practicing games?
I would practice at my house with my sisters. When Julia, she used to play basketball, we would practice. My little sister Brooke and Alex as well, we would always practice outside. And then just playing travel ball through middle school just really helped a lot.
Because it's a question, Coach. I agree with you 100%.
I'm baffled by it because, we open the gym and anybody can come. I just want people playing the game, and I'm not looking to make money off of it. It's open gym. Come, workout. That's all summer. It's all fall. I kind of take spring off a little bit for a little break. And I'll do anything. I tried to run a camp last year. I couldn't get any numbers. So I'm going to keep working at it. I'm going to keep going down to those travel programs. And I don't know. I don't know if it's outdoor courts or it's just a sign of the times, because talking to other coaches too, they feel like it's pretty.
It's across the board.
It's across the board. I live in Andover, and some of those Andover travel teams are down, just like our travel program and some of the travel programs I'm talking to people about.
Because it's not really an expensive sport.
No.
It's a basketball, maybe a pair of sneakers if you have to.
But the thing about basketball, and I don't want to sound like, take a shot at other sports, because I don't. But basketball, you need to work at. Like, it's you and another person, and you have to have skill with the ball to be able to go by that person, to be able to shoot the ball, to be able to make a pass. It's not. It takes a lot of work to be a good basketball player, and I'm not sure that this day and age, if a lot of kids want to put that effort into it. But like I tell them, and I just talked to my JV and freshman. I said, all these kids in here, like, all we really need is 5. Like, if 5 of you just commit to doing this, 5 of you, that's all. By the time you're a senior, just work. If it's important to you, find time to do it, and you can go good. I know Steph works at her game. Like, it's simple.
How do you balance that? That's a for a high school athlete. I'm
3-sport athlete.
I was a three-sport athlete. 3 sports that you have to put the work in. How do you find the time to make sure you're putting enough work into each one of them?
I've been really working on managing my time, doing my homework, getting that done right away as soon as I can, so I can make time for things like sports and after-school activities. So that makes it a lot easier for me.
And then when schoolwork is done and your 1,000 dribbles and your 200 free throws, what do you do for fun? What's the fun thing that is non-athletic, non-academic?
I hang out with a bunch of my friends who actually we all play sports together, mostly like soccer, basketball, and softball. Like, I've made a lot of friends through that, so I make time to hang out with them as well.
Very cool.
just want to say, too, the core kids of our team, Olivia Barron, Hannah Reinhardt, those kids, they work at the Michaela, and they're Bella Keeney. It's a 3-sport athlete, and they find time to do it. I mean, that's why they're playing varsity basketball, because they figure out how to do it. It's not, and there's an easy way. You can say, no, I'm not going to do it. I remember meeting with my team last year, and I said, listen, I get you 3-sport athletes, but 10 minutes. Find 10 minutes after softball. When you get out of softball, find 10 minutes, get the ball, put 10 minutes into it, go eat your dinner, done. But just like 10 minutes a day in those times. I get everyone's busy, but you got to find some time if you want to be good at it. And I'm lucky that the core kids we have on our team now, they're pretty invested in it. And even though they're 3-sport athletes, 2-sport athletes, they lock in and they give their time to it.
So Hannah, afternoons, Hannah Reinhardt, when she's got time off of basketball, she goes over to the North Andover
HGR.
arena. What?
HGR
and does some lacrosse.
Yeah.
So
she's being recruited by a few schools right now. She's going to be playing college lacrosse next year.
Yep.
There's a lot of good things going on in the athletic program in Methuen. Not just basketball.
That's kind of why we're lucky enough to do this.
We had with youth basketball. I don't know if I'm supposed to touch upon this or not, but it was always hard getting gym time for practice as a team. I mean, we always had,
That's why I scheduled a ton of games, because with in-house and in-town and boys and girls, you barely got one practice a week.
I think that's a universal problem also. I mean, I remember coaching my son's travel team in Andover. It's hard because schools have the priority of it until a certain time. Yep. And then everyone's going to get in the gym. It's hard.
When Connor played and when Julia played also, we signed them up for church league basketball also, because in our eyes, the more time they played, the better they were going to get.
Yeah.
And I think at one time Julia was playing on 2 church league teams and playing travel, and it's a lot. It's a lot of work, but it was fun. As adults now, not having
church as much during that time.
No comment on that. So I got to ask, half an hour before you go into one of your drills or hitting practice, and you just don't want to go. You're just like, you know what, I'm fried. What do you do to motivate yourself? Because I'm going to be honest, I think that's a big difference between a phenomenal student athlete like yourself and a kid who gives the excuse, why aren't I playing, or I would get cut anyways, or they pick their favorites, all the kids that just live. So what are you telling yourself to get yourself over that hump and go?
I feel like it's just always something that I've had. Like, my parents have always been there to push me. And whenever I don't feel like doing it, they're always there to help me and just encourage me to keep going. And they're a huge part in like how I can push myself to like do the extra step and do those things. And it's just something that like I've been brought up like doing my whole life.
So us pushing Julia to go to her what do we call it, tumbling practice tonight, even when she was like, we weren't forcing her, we were encouraging her. Is that what you just said? All right, I appreciate that.
Can I give one more shout out, Billy, before we go?
That's why we're here.
So with our injury plague season and all our kids, Bella starting, all those kids, Bella, Michaela, they're all doing great, and they get more credit. But there's some JV kids, Megan Melia, Stephanie Henrik, Morales, Vasquez, Morales. I'll get him, ladies. Yep. Morales, say it.
Morales.
Thank you. That tongue twister for me. Morales.
Morelius can play lacrosse.
Yeah,
as well.
She is.
Lacrosse is a great sport.
It's basketball.
It's basketball.
It is.
It's basketball with sticks. Yeah, it's
really
awesome.
She's
gonna be I keep telling her, if she just puts a little time into her skill, she's gonna be a good basketball player. Yeah. 'Cause she's a gamer. She's so coachable. She's awesome. But those 5 girls should be playing 4 quarters of JV. And with all this that's been happening, they're literally giving up 2 quarters, and I feel awful. But we need them like insurance policies on the bench in case something else happens, in case. So, there's the girls. So when you see the girls sitting on the bench jumping up and down on it, those are the girls right there who have sacrificed their playing time and they're for the good of the program. I can't say enough about kids like that, those kids.
And Drake, you had a big lead, and it kind of dwindled a little bit. Michaela went home, and she wasn't feeling well or something.
She was throwing up.
And throwing up. And I saw Morelius get in there, kind of some crunch time, important time, and which is good minutes, minutes for Caitlin. But yeah, all great kids, and there's very few of these student athletes that are just doing one sport and then taking a couple seasons off. They're out there working. I didn't bring the black tape.
I know.
We have one thing of black tape.
We did so well in the back half of last semester.
We did. I'm thrown off with Tim, either being ejected or injured. I don't know what's going on with him.
I kind of like the flag falling occasionally.
I do too.
If you had 754 in the pool, you're the winner.
So right now, the wrestling is down 24-15. So I'm not even sure who they're playing, because they're not really supposed to lose. Probably shouldn't be doing this on the radio.
I can't remember. I know he told me today. Coach told me today, and I forgot.
They'll come back.
Girls hockey is up 4-0. So probably one of their bigger opponents in Division I is Reading, and they're up solid 4-0, and going into the third, which is pretty cool. What do you say?
They're good.
Yeah, they are very good. They're fun to watch. I know the speed of the game is a little bit slower than boys hockey, but boy, a lot of action, and they work hard. Another solid coached team, and just do their thing. They're playing Chelmsford. Joel, thank you very much. Okay. Joel chiming in. Mary Joan, who is one of our biggest fans, says we finally have a great co-host. And Pam looks like when Tim is either back from his injury or suspension, Pam will be the new co-host. So Steph, any final words? One of my favorite parts about this show is you've already kind of thrown mom and dad a shout out. Mm-hmm. How about the high school? You're in your sophomore year now, and there's some really good teachers and administrators. Talk a little bit about how they've helped you.
All of my teachers last year and this year have been great. They've helped me so much. Coming in as a freshman last year, I didn't really know what to expect, but they've just helped me learn so much. And also my other coaches for high school, they're also, some of them are teachers at the high school, like Jason Smith, Jackie Rubino, Tim Gordon, and also my assistant soccer coach, Bo Pham. They have all been extremely helpful to me through my high school career so far. So I just want to thank them.
Bo's quite a good guy, huh?
Yeah, I love Bo.
We've gotten to know each other just through this, and Pam and I were out shopping, and I'm at a red light, and I look over, and there he is, huge smile. We don't even never shook hands, never really met. He's like saying hello, just a lot of energy. This guy, he's real good man. Jason Smith and Coach Rubino, two real good people, and
good coaches too.
Where the boosters, we're really putting a lot of work. We want to help this softball team kind of improve your softball fields. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to work with Bill Buckley, guy we all grew up with in Lawrence.
That's it. Make more softball players in this town. Keep making softball players.
How about this though? We have a good, safe softball field that they get to play on. Got new bleachers for them.
Yeah, Billy said it was going to be really nice.
We're just hoping that this is a team that's in the playoffs every year and does really well. I'd like to have a field that we're proud of. I went last year to one of the playoffs game, and I was one of the guys that didn't really go to any of your games but the playoff game. I'll be honest.
Bandwagoner.
Absolutely. But I was a little shocked at the field. It just, the bleachers were kind of suspect, and so we're hoping.
There's more people standing around than actually sitting down watching the game.
No, absolutely, and we need to make sure that we fix that and take care of what our, we have a great stadium, but we need to make sure our other fields are just as presentable and nice. Just a couple quick shout outs. AFC Urgent Care, as I said, Tim, potentially is there right now getting his ankle fixed. It's really important for the Ranger Nation Radio and these athletes to have these shows, to have this show and have the sponsors also. Canan and Pacone,
who just helped us out today.
Plumbing. So
really,
I don't talk about sponsors in a personal light unless we really use them. And
I
that
texted.
Doesn't sound encouraging.
I texted someone this morning. They were at my house at 3:00 today,
nice.
and the problem was fixed within 45 minutes. So
we won't talk about the water
that was streaming out of.
Oh man!
But it was a small issue, thankfully.
No, so
there are no small issues when water's streaming out.
This is true.
Especially when I'm alone home, not knowing how to shut the pipes off.
Yeah. And you're texting me at work what I can do for you. I don't know.
I was asking you to call Canaan and Pacone Plumbing. So, you know, if you have any pipe issues, any water issues, definitely call Canaan and Pacone. And obviously, once again, AFC Urgent Care has always been there to support us. Coach, any final words?
I want to thank you guys for what you're doing here, and for what you do, the athletes are doing. I don't know if they really truly appreciate this. Doesn't happen in a lot of towns that you know the boosters are out there really supporting the kids, and that you guys have this little show going on. That's, you know, good publicity for them. I appreciate it, and it's a special thing. I hope everyone appreciates it in Ranger Nation.
Thank you.
No, thank you. It's fun to get to meet great kids, and you know, Pam and I have said all along, and you know this. You've been coaching, and I just want to stay part of my kids' high school experience, because once they go to college, they're gone kind of.
No, they don't go. They're back. They don't go away.
No,
But that's when when we both have to sit in the stands.
Yeah. Miss camera lady right on the field kills me during football. I spent all this time coaching, and now I'm up in the stands. And
she's on the field.
She's right in the thick of it going, did you hear what Coach Ryan just said? I'm like, no, I'm up here with the rest of the bums. So, and
in the cheap seats.
Thank God I am, though, because I couldn't handle being on the field. So, once again, Steph, I appreciate it with your busy schedule, and you guys are out there grinding. So you said you're home tomorrow against Andover?
Home tomorrow against Andover. And then we're on the road. We're going to, I tell her, it'll be our West Coast trip like the Celtics take. We're going for a while.
Yeah, because you had a bunch
You're going
of
to Drake?
Yeah, a ton of home games.
Yep.
How do you like playing Andover, your hometown?
I'm a Ranger, man. I'm a Ranger.
Good
through
for you.
and through.
Good for you.
I say I bleed two kinds of blue.
Navy and Royal.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I know a lot of those. I had some of those kids as students in elementary school, but, you know, I want to beat them as much as I want to beat anybody.
I grew up in Andover myself, and
you did?
my mother still says, how does it feel to play when you guys play Andover?
Yeah.
I'm a Ranger.
I'm a Ranger.
That's it.
Yeah. So I will say this though: if you're watching, if you tune in before tomorrow night, if you have a young daughter and you want her to see a hardworking role model, right here, and the bunch of the other high school girls. I love the fact that you look up to Michaela. I've known her. So, she went to the Marsh with my kids, but you're pretty inspirational and pretty impressive yourself. So
Thank you.
Keep working hard, and we're so thankful and grateful that you're part of Ranger Nation. But get down to the Clemens Field House, 7 o'clock. Is
7
the
o'clock varsity,
start time.
5:30 JV.
Check out the game, and you'll definitely appreciate their work ethic. Thanks for tuning in. Bada bing, bada boom. AFC Urgent Care, Canaan Pacone Plumbing. Thank you again for sponsoring, Lou. Thank you very much. All right, everybody, have a good night.
Good night.
Sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul